Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope all of you are fine. So, students, we have started the chapter Private Public Sector, and in that chapter, we have already done the departmental undertakings that is part of public sector. Now we are going to its next part, that is statutory corporation and statutory company, right? Statutory public corporation actually fall in the category which are incorporated or established by some special act of the parliament, and the this act provides all the management and the methods of running them, and their powers and privileges are also determined by the government departments who are specified. The public corporation have separate legal existence, which means they can purchase assets in their name, and their entire capital is given by the government, which means these corporations are fully owned by the government, but they have right to take the loan from the public. In India, LIC, RBI, IDBI, Employee State Corporation, Central Warehousing Corporation, FCI, Indian Airlines, Air India. These are the examples of statutory corporation, right? And after that, so students now understand the merits and the demerits of statutory corporation. Merits and the demerits of statutory corporation are these follow. First of all, administrative autonomy. This means autonomy in operation, as there was no interference of the government in the functioning of these organization. Quick decision can be taken. There is no unnecessary formalities, and service motive is there. The main and aim of the corporation are to give service and profit respectively. For example, no profit or very limited profit is taken for these services. And next is professional or efficient staff. Besides the representative of the employees and the consumer, the government also nominates some professional managers to the board of directors, and as it we can say that employees are paid enough salary, and so their management is efficient. They are most efficient managers as well as, right? So these are the merits of statutory corporation. And demerits, first of all, autonomy is not complete and it's is shown only in papers. In reality, there is complete government interference, so they cannot take decision independently. Next is lack of initiative. The corporations are careless in their activities in absence of the competitive feelings and profit motive. So there is a possibility that loss is always there. Next is rigid structure. This means the members of the board of directors utilize their powers for their own profit and social welfare, and we can say that the structure is very limited up to that, and the unfair practices may also be used by those persons who are the nominee or nominated by the government, and in this way they forgot the public interest. And so after studying the merits and the demerits of statutory corporation, we may see that the public corporation is suitable where the undertaking requires monopoly powers, and social welfare should be given priority, and as the regular grant is given by the government also, right? So we can say that statutory corporations are these where suitability is. So our next topic is government company, that is the third part of the public sector. Government company is a company in which at least 51% of the paid up capital held by the government, and the government may be central or state, partly made by central or state government, right? The government company includes HMT, BHEL. These are the examples of government company. And the features of the government company are: first, formation. Companies can be made under the Company Act 1956. Accordingly, the government company is formed. All formalities are followed, and separate legal entity, as it is a registered organization, so it has a separate identification. And next is management and control. Complete management and control done by the board of directors, which are nominated by the shareholders. And ownership 51% is with the government and remaining part with the public. Finance is given by the government and as well as the public. And this department, this company has also powers to borrow from the public also. And even the revenues or incomes of this department are treated as the income of the government also. So these revenues can be used for the welfare of the general public also. So these are the features of government company. Now students, we are going to do the merits and the demerits of government company. The merits of government company is that autonomy of operation. This means in operation there is a freedom, there is less interference of the government, and next is absence of political interference. Political interference will be less. After that, quick and prompt decisions. If shareholder nominated directors wants to take decision, they can take very easily without any interference. And as the private sector participation is also there, the efficiency will also increase. And ease of the raising capital. As we know that the amount of the capital invested in these organization, 51% is done by government and remaining from the public. Even these organizations allowed to borrow the money from the public also. So these organizations have comparatively large sources of finance, right? And next is demerits. No flexibility in operation. This means most of the directors of the government companies are given by the government, and they are chosen from the various government ministers, and the different ministers always interfere in the operation of the company. So we can say that they do not have complete operational freedom. And the next is misuse of power. Most of the cases actually in operation of this department, the ministers representative are there, and they also can misuse those powers for their own interest also, comparative to public interest. And next is lack of efficiency. As a professional efficiency is needed to run a company, this proficiency is not found in the directors nominated by the government. So company become a government department in place of the business undertaking. And next is political interference could be there. As we may say that the most of the directors of the government company are nominated by the government, so they always try to interfere through the ministers or representative of the ministers. So students, these are the topic we have covered in the chapter number 3. So we will meet in the next class. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Stay home and stay safe.